Hello, this is the Media Geek, Paul Riesmandel, and welcome to the first Media Geek video blog entry. It's about a minor pledge drive adventure. This is community radio station WEFT in downtown Champaign, Illinois, where the Media Geek radio show is produced. Right now, the station is in the middle of pledge drive, where we're asking our loyal listeners to give up some hard-earned cash to keep the station on the air. A couple hours before I started my show, I decided to help out with Pledge Drive, and that day the phones were pretty slow.
Yeah, so I'm a flare coordinator for Pledge Drive, so I'm processing the credit cards and putting the pledges in the database and trying to keep the general morale up as well.
And how is the morale?
I would say that it's pretty good. You know, we're off to a slow start, but I'm not worried about it. I know we're going to pick it back up. It always kind of starts off slow, and then we, really pick up speed in the second and third weeks, at least in my experience. So,
how many pledge drives have you done?
This is my third one as a coordinator, probably like my sixth one as, a volunteer left.
That might be a pledge.
And I'm just happy to be here at WEFT. That's really about the size of it right now. Pledge Drive, we wish there were more calls, but I don't think that's anything new. You should have been here when I had the 22nd graders in here earlier this afternoon.
How'd that go?
Well, that was wild, but it always is with 22nd graders. It's my son's class, actually like 23 kids, 17 boys and 6 girls. A lot of energy there. They spent all week learning their WEFT announcements, station ID, pledge drive stuff. Then we took them in small groups into the back studio there, and they recorded some promos and pledge drive announcements.
And how well that go?
That went very well. That went very well. Considering I'm not a very technical guy as far as the equipment, I got it all on mini disc, and then the mini disc wouldn't play in the front mini disc player here. So that was a technical problem that we have not yet quite figured out.
Now, as it turned out, the satellite feed of the syndicated news program Democracy Now! Was completely botched, with silent dead spaces randomly strewn throughout the program. Greg Goodale hosts the WEF Courier on Friday, which is the station's 2-hour block of news and public affairs programming, and yet he remains reflective but sanguine about the challenges of his tasks.
Joys of being analog, no computers. The joys of being analog, you have to think on your feet at a community radio station, and that's kind of fun. I mean, I've had to learn virtually every machine in here because at some point I'm going to have to use them. Either that or I'm going to have to know why something's strange, like the EAS machine behind us, which types for like 2 minutes. Hey, I love community radio station. I mean, it does actually. I look forward to this in a weird kind of way. I look forward to seeing what is going to happen next at WEFT. And the beauty of it is there are plenty of people around to help out. So I'm learning a ton about radio. I'm learning a ton about all the equipment that's involved in radio. Those couriers are pretty simple. You come in, you do a little bit of editing before the show so that you know where the breaks are going to be. You go on, you wait for the breaks, you tuck in a couple of public service announcements, but sometimes we don't get the feed, sometimes the feed is very rough, sometimes we have to play with the board to even out, like if it only comes in on a right signal or a left signal, we can even that out on the board. But again, these are all things that I get to learn as I'm going, so. Okay, we may be going back up in a second, so. We are going back up. We just went back up. And once again, we've lost the Democracy Now! Feed, and we should be back up in about 2 minutes, but we're...
And it was pretty much like that for the entire hour of Democracy Now! Greg and I had to go on air with just a moment's notice to make our pledge pitch to the listeners and fill in the dead spots. My program starts at 5:30, and I had things pretty well lined up, ready to start with a phone interview with my friend Pauline. Hello, Pauline, are you there? Hello, Pauline, are you there? I'm getting nothing. I'm getting static. It doesn't sound like I'm getting anything. Hello, Pauline, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. We're working with the phones have been a little crazy today, so I'm glad for you to be here. Only it seems like the phone gods were not ready to cooperate.
You know, that's a good question. I think it was 2002, around August 2000.
Please enter your destination number followed by the pound key.
Maybe AT&T and Verizon found out how I've been criticizing them on the air. But a golden rule of live radio is always have something queued up.
That's wonderful. It looks like we just lost our call. So, I'll tell you what, I'm going to switch gears here for a moment.
After getting a hold of Pauline on my cell phone, I was able to get her back on the studio line and did the interview without any further snafus.
And on the line, I should have Pauline Bartolone.
Hello.
There we go. Let's hope this all sticks together here.
I'm back.
Thank you for your patience with me, Pauline.
So, it was not a boring afternoon, and live community radio rarely is boring. Now I just have to see what adventure awaits me next week. That's a little peek behind the scenes at the Media Geek Radio Show and at Community Radio here. Until the next video blog. See you later.